BMC AMI Change Manager for IMS TM's backup directory feature. This is an optional feature in Delta List processing that creates a backup copy of the PSB or DMB objects before updating the Active Directory. The backup directory, defined as a version 2 PDSE, uses a feature called member generation, which allows it to retain multiple versions of a PSB or DMB object, up to a specified limit set by the maxgens parameter. Once this limit is reached, older versions are permanently deleted. The IMS catalog database's high-level qualifier defines the prefix for the backup directory dataset name, while the last low-level qualifier must be DLPDI or BK. The DCB information is the same as that used for the IMS staging or Active Directory. Enabling this feature simply involves allocating a backup directory dataset, and disabling it requires either deleting or renaming the dataset. This backup directory feature is helpful for rolling back changes made to PSB and DMB objects in a managed ACB's environment. How is the backup performed? When a Delta List operation like add, revise, or reload is executed for an application or a database, the Change Manager for IMS TM first checks if copy ACB is enabled in both the IMS ID options and on the Delta List request element. If copy ACB is enabled, it then verifies if the runtime control blocks for the databases and PSBs in the request are present in the staging directory. If the objects are found, they will be copied to the Active Directory. However, before this update, if the backup directory feature is enabled, a backup of the existing member in the Active Directory will be taken into the Change Manager backup directory. The active IMS directory is then updated by copying objects from staging to active, and the catalog header segment is updated to switch the pending timestamp to active. The objects are then refreshed in the IMS control region. Let's go over the process for a Delta List request to roll back changes in applications and databases using the backup directory feature. When a reload request is issued to activate a backup directory member, BMC AMI Change Manager for IMS TM first checks if copy ACB is enabled. If copy ACB is not enabled, the request will fail. If it is enabled, Change Manager then verifies whether a metadata entry exists for that object in the IMS catalog. If no entry is found, the request will fail. If an entry is found, the objects are copied from the backup directory to the Active Directory. Finally, the catalog header segment's active timestamp is updated with the timestamp of the restored object, and the copied member is reloaded in the IMS control region from the active IMS directory. Before performing a backout of application or database objects, let's issue a few commands to verify some details. First, use the command display DLP catalog verify active timestamp DBD name to check the timestamp of the member present in IMS Active Directory. Then, issue the command display DLP catalog verify backup DBD name to confirm that the entry for the member you want to back out to is present in the IMS catalog. The Delta List copy element feature is used to create Delta List elements for reloading from a backup directory. To create a new Delta List member, start by selecting option 1 from the main menu, followed by option 1 again. A pop-up panel will appear, offering the option to insert a Delta List element. Select option 3, copy elements with runtime objects in the IMS directory, to access this panel. This panel allows you to copy one or more elements with runtime objects from the IMS directory of an IMS control region into an existing Delta List. You can choose to roll back an application, a database, or both. Enter the name of the element, or use a mask to specify multiple elements to copy. Provide the name of the IMS or group, and select option 3, Backup, as the directory type. Press Enter to create the Delta List elements for the selected objects. You may see multiple entries for a single element if there are several backup copies available. To select the member to back out to, refer to the timestamp. The most recent backup copy can be identified by its generation number, which is always set to 0. Before executing the Delta List, ensure that only one element entry is available for each object. Once you've identified the entry you want to back out to, unmark or delete any others. If multiple entries are present for an object in the Delta List, an error will occur when executing it in optimized mode. When you execute this Delta List, an informational message will appear, indicating that the selected PSB or DMB object has been successfully copied from the backup to the Active Directory and reloaded in the IMS control region. You can verify this by issuing the command display DLP catalog verify active timestamp. Thanks for watching.